Greetings everyone, I hope you are fine, I hope you are doing well. I'm back again with another video, and if you're new here, this channel is all about African history, African way of doing things. It's all about Africa. And I would like to appreciate you all for taking your moment to watch this video. And I know we may not always agree, because sometimes I go deep when it comes to these topics, to the point whereby some people end up disagreeing with me completely, but it's fine. But the most important thing is that we have to talk about these things, not because we are digging the past, but because the past is still living amongst us even today. That is why we still say Africa is not yet free. We only have 3 countries here in Africa that are fighting for a genuine independence, but the rest are still under this system, which is divide and rule. So the divide and rule system, many of you may be aware of the divide and rule system, how it operates, and etc. and etc. But we still need to talk about these things. So the reason I want to talk about the divide and rule system is because you have to understand that as long as we always disagree on minor things, there's no way we can win. There's no way we can become victorious at the end of the day. So that is why it is the purpose of the system, or it is how the system functions, to make us to disagree on minor things so that we don't focus on the major things. So this is how it works. So the divide and rule system is all about dividing people. So they use certain things in order to divide people. They use certain things so in order to hinder you from understanding how the system operates. In other words, they give you certain things so that you won't fight for other things, so that you won't look at the injustices that are happening out there. So first of all, I just want to talk about opportunities or privileges. I know people have different opportunities and different privileges. So I'm not against the privileges or the opportunities that you have, but I just want to talk about the divide and rule system when it comes to opportunities, because you have to understand that most of these things are not happening by coincidence. They are happening intentionally. That is why sometimes you ask yourself, I try to do this, I try to access certain opportunities, but it seems as if I'm not getting these opportunities, I'm not getting these chances so that I can express myself, so that I can better my life. So these things sometimes they don't happen by coincidence. So the reason they use these opportunities to divide people is because they want others to be on the other side. So that is why in most cases when they ask you about who is your role model, you'll always refer to the person who is on the other side of the river. But in most cases, you'll find out that those people don't even care about your needs. Those people are a stumbling block when it comes to your freedom, or when it comes to you having access to certain opportunities. It's not always the case, but it's happening based on a system. So a system won't allow to keep everybody poor. They don't do that. You can go to even the countries in Africa that are the poorest, the countries that are listed as the poorest in Africa or the poorest in the world. They still have those people who have access to certain opportunities, those people who have a bit of cash, those people who can do whatever they want. Sometimes it's not by coincidence. Yes, they may use this thing of like you have to work hard, but even the system of working hard, or even this thing of working hard, is part of the system there and there. So that is why we need to be careful, because sometimes you may feel like you are not doing enough. You will try by all means to work hard, and you are like, but it seems as if things are not connecting. Sometimes it's because of these opportunities that I'm talking about. So when it comes to opportunities, they will leave the rest of the people poor, and then they will give others opportunities. And those they give those opportunities, they will try by all means to program them so that they can always come to you and calm you down. So that whenever you feel like you have to fight for your rights, so that whenever you feel like you are being oppressed and you are like, we have to stand up for our rights, these people will always come. You will always come in order to calm you down. And since you look at these people as the role models, you will always calm down whenever they speak. Why? Because you respect these people, because you think these people have more opportunities than you, and you think, again, these people maybe at some point they might open the gate of opportunities to you as well. But you have to understand that the moment you have these opportunities, the moment you have all these things, now psychologically you become programmed to forget about the major things that are happening in your society, the injustices that are happening in the society. So this is a system that the colonizers used in Africa. Even today, the very same system is still working in order to oppress the people. Why? Because if people are united with one voice, it's gonna be difficult to conquer them. And again, I can say it's just a bit impossible to conquer those people because they are united. But if you are going to use a divide and rule, then you are probably going to win. I'm not saying each and every person who has certain opportunities and privileges is as a result, but I'm just saying most of these things are not happening by coincidence. Even when it comes to workplace, even when it comes to interview, when they interview you, they try by all means to analyze what kind of a person are you. But if they can sense that you are just a bit revolutionary, even if they are not sure, even if they are not certain, they won't hire you. Irregardless, they won't hire, irregardless of your qualifications, irregardless of your experience and everything, because you have to understand that the system wants to hire the people that they can program. They want to educate the people they can program. They want to fund people. They want to give scholarships to people they can program. So the second thing that I would like to talk about when it comes to system is the politics and the political parties. So because they know that if you have certain needs and you come together, it's going to be difficult for them to deal with you. It's going to be difficult for them to conquer you. So that is why even when it comes to politics, they will try by all means to use a system, like they can use mainstream media, they can use anything so that the people can be divided. So that is why we have, like, for example, various political parties. Yes, some people might say this is our stance, this is our vision, this is our mission, and etc. and etc. But the most important thing that we need to understand is that the system can also use political parties in order to do this thing of divide and rule. Why? Because if people are divided, then they will conquer. So that is why they like it when people criticize these political parties, when people are divided because of these political, they become excited. Why they become excited? Because they know for a fact that there's no way you can come together. There's no way, even if we want the same change, but we want to disagree based on certain individuals. We want to disagree based on certain steps. So they become very interested because if you don't like me, no matter how I can convince you, no matter how I can try to convince you, you'll always say, you know what, I don't want to work with you, irregardless of having the same problem. So that is why right now in different countries we have different political parties. So you cannot find one political party or two political parties. You have to find all these different kinds of political parties, because the system will try to make sure that if there's one political party that maybe is representing people genuinely, if they see that this political party is representing people genuinely, they will try to establish another political party, but they will use someone whom they can trust. That's a divide and rule. So you have to understand that anyone who is trusted by the system cannot deliver anything to you. But whenever they talk, they will talk as if they want to bring change, they want to bring change, they want to bring change. But at the end of the day, they disagree with their fellow brothers, even if we have the same problem. So the divide and rule goes deeper than you can imagine. And the other thing that I would like to talk about is when it comes to business. Sometimes you start a small business and you think your business will be successful, and you try by all means to work hard. You do everything to make sure that this business becomes successful when it comes to marketing, when it comes to business research, and a lot of things, because you want this business to become successful because you have seen other people becoming successful. But in most cases, it's not by coincidence. In order for you to get deals, in order for you to get connections, and all these things is based on a system. This is what you need to understand. So that is why you'll start, like, for example, working tirelessly because you are trying to prove to yourself and to other people that you are a hard worker. But at the end of the day, things are not connecting. You ask yourself, you have to understand that even when it comes to business opportunities, the system will also apply divide and rule. Because the intention of the system is to make sure that it separates you with your friend. That is why if you can just like visit your friend that you've been to school with, you'll find out that this person is now thinking different, because now this person is successful. This person has 1, 2, 3. It's not always the case, but it's happening. Why? Because the system will make sure that it doesn't like exclude all the people when it comes to economy. It doesn't exclude them completely. They will make sure that they also include certain people who will become your role models because they think different. So these are the people who always say, you are lazy. You have to work hard. In other words, you have to work, you have to wake up maybe around 5 a.m. in the morning every day, meditate and do this. Then you have to know your vision. In other words, they will say all sorts of things in order to convince you that you are not working hard enough. But they won't like face the reality and say, you know what, right now we have unemployment. Right now the business is not working effectively. Business opportunities are rare. In other words, they won't tell you that you need to be connected. They won't tell you all these things that are necessary for you to hear. So even when it comes to business, they use the divide and rule. They will fund a few businesses. They know what they are doing. You have to understand that this is how the system operates. So they will give those people some few millions, then they will keep the rest. And again, the other thing that I would like to talk about is religion. Even when it comes to religion. So there's a system of this man by the name of King Leopold II. So this is the guy who was like, you know what? When you use these scriptures, you have to remember one thing, our interest. So every time you open these scriptures, you have to remember one thing, our interest. So even when they came to Africa, they said, you know what? In order for us to crack down these people, we have to use religion. We have to use the very same book that belongs to them based on history. That is why they were like, you know what? Right now, we have to use religion to divide them. So that is why right now, when it comes to those who call themselves believers, they think different. Even when we try to stand up and say, you know what? We need justice when it comes to 1, 2, 3. We need change when it comes to 1, 2, 3. Then there will be those few people who call themselves believers. Then they'll come forward and say, no, let's be patient. God will be with them. God will take care of the situation, and etc. and etc. and etc. That's not a lie. That's not a lie that God will take care of the situation. That's not a lie. But it doesn't change the fact that we have to fight for justice. How can you pray to the just God and never want justice to be done? It doesn't make sense. How can you preach about the God of love, but at the end of the day, when it comes to this love being practiced, is something else? People are failing to practice the love that they always talk about. So now they've created all these systems. That is why even amongst the religion, now they tell you that these ones are not good. These ones are the overthrowers of governments. You should not follow these ones, but instead you have to follow these ones. So that is why we end up having people now fighting to prove which religion is the best. This one is the best. This one is not the best. So we keep on wasting time. Why? Because it is the purpose of the system to make sure that we always waste time on things that are not even necessary. So I'm not against religions. So your religion might be important to you, might be significant to you, but here is the thing. How can I pray to the God who is just? But when it comes to preaching justice, now I have to tell people that no, it should not be done this way, but we have to pray. Not that prayer is not significant, but there are things that you have to do practically. But the system has made us to think that way. Even when it comes to culture, even when it comes to lifestyle. So they have applied this system of divide and rule. So that is why right now we have men and women who don't see eye to eye. They are divided. If you go to TikTok, women are blaming men. Men are blaming women. So they continue saying, in other words, so they keep on doing the very same thing the whole year, that women are not good, men are not good. This is how the system operates, because you don't have to just divide people religiously and etc. even when it comes to families, because if you can crack down a family, then you are done. If you can crack down a family, you are done. So this is how the system operates, so that you don't play your role, so that you just neglect your role, so that you just think that your role is no longer important. So that is why they use these terminologies such as patriarchy, gender-based violence, and all these other terminologies that they are using. They are using these terminologies intentionally so that you are divided. Because if you are divided, they conquer. But if you are united, they fail to conquer. This is how the system operates. This is a system of the likes of King Leopold II and many others who came before him, and many others who came after him as well. So we have to talk about these things because they are still affecting us. Some people might say we are digging the past. We are not digging the past, but if the past is still in your present, then it means you have to talk about it. I don't know what is your suggestion or what is your input, because we may not always agree. I would like to say, if you watch this video to this level, thank you very much.